Well, let's call the Board of Commissioners meeting to order here promptly at 10 o'clock. Please stand if you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, is there any public comment for items that are not appearing on today's agenda? All right, seeing none, do we have any additions to today's agenda from either commissioner? No? All right, does anyone need to make any changes or alterations to the meeting minutes from the meeting held on April 25th? I'm aware. All right, we'll take a motion then.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the meeting held April 25th, 2023.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the meeting held on April 25th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, we move into a couple of important proclamations here this morning. We'll start with proclamation number 18, proclaiming May 7th to the 13th as Corrections Employee Week in Center County. This is our largest county department, so we have, I think, Glenn and Melanie, our two acting warden and deputy wardens from the facility.
Good morning, everybody. We just wanted to thank you for taking the time to recognize the corrections staff that work at our facility. It's an awesome team that has been put together up there, and it's nice to be recognized for sometimes an often job that gets a lot of criticism, I should say. So that's all I have, Melanie.
We're planning our usual celebrations for next week, so lots of good food to be had throughout the week that everybody really likes. We'll have employee recognition awards that'll be recognized at the Prison Board of Inspectors meeting, and then of course you're all welcome to join us for those various celebrations, so we'll make sure that the board members have the schedule to come down and see us a little bit throughout the week.
Well, definitely invited. Did you get the recipe?
Lieutenant Billett has conquered how it's going to be made. So.
Okay. Yeah, please let us know. Great kitchen staff at the correctional facility. I know we received compliments from the tenant inmates from the out-of-county areas on how good the food is here in Center County.
We were just with the warden from Schuylkill
Yes.
about a week and a half ago, and he's like, why do all my inmates come back about 30 pounds heavier?
So yeah, great staff at the facility. We appreciate all they've done over the last year, especially when we were so shorthanded a little bit previously and people were working a minimum of 56 hours a week. Very much appreciate that. Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's great to recognize your employees. I know it's a challenging job, and you've all have done a great job being able to fill those positions recently. I'm glad we've been able to make some progress because I know that's important for the good functioning of that facility. So.
Commissioner Dirsch.
Thanks for keeping everybody safe, and most importantly, all the great programming that you do. I think our jail is exceptional in that regard. I think we offer a lot of things, a lot of programs, and a lot of services and programs that just aren't seen across our state. And I'm very proud of what you do up there, and I know it takes a lot of time and effort and a lot of thought and probably a lot of extra effort to make those things happen, and we really appreciate that and look forward to helping you celebrate next week. Thank you. Good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, the correctional facility is one of those few situations where we actually want to be working with as few people as possible, and to have the facility be as empty as we possibly can. So very much appreciate you being here. I think we can probably move forward to the motion at this point.
I'll move to adopt Proclamation 18 of 2023, proclaiming May 7th through 13th, 2023 as Corrections Employee Week in Center County.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adopting proclamation number 18, proclaiming May 7th through the 13th as Corrections Employee Week in Center County, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Didn't think we'd get a nay on that one. It is adopted, and why don't you come on up? We'll do some quick pictures.
Congratulations. Thank you.
The things under control.
Oh, we try.
Okay. Good? Now now for the Lock Haven Express?
I'll make it quick, I promise.
All right.
Good.
What about the Center Daily Times? You're waiting for the next one, right?
All right.
Thank you,
Great.
sir. Thanks. Thanks,
Appreciate
Glenn.
it.
Thanks, Melanie. Appreciate you coming over. Give everybody our best. All right, now our next proclamation will be Proclamation 19, proclaiming the entire month of May as Foster Care Awareness Month in Center County. And we have quite a group. Leah, are you going to organize them, or? Okay. I think we have Leah, Kaylin, Jackie, and Dustin.
Morning.
Morning.
So I'm actually going to let you have a break from hearing from me for a change and
Oh, that's all right.
introduce Kayla Nero, who is our foster home specialist, as well as Jackie Lepore and Dustin Newman, who are foster parents for our agency, and let you hear straight from them about our needs in Center County and what it's like to be a foster parent and why we need more.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, I am the foster home specialist here at Center County. Today, we have 70 children in the care and custody of Center County Children and Youth. 41 of those children are able to be secured in Center County foster homes. 9 of those children are in homes in purchased providers because we are unable to locate foster homes here in Center County. We also have 20 children in congregate care settings such as group homes, residential treatment facilities, and out of 20 of those children, 8 of them are appropriate for foster homes. However, due to their age, we struggle to find foster homes for them. I want to take you all kind of through an imagery today. I want you all to think of being a child again. And someone knocks on your door as maybe you're playing, and through that time, maybe this is a familiar face to you, maybe this is not a familiar face to you. And they're talking to your family. And through that conversation, they may be there for a few short minutes, or they may be there for a long time. And during that time, you begin to hear tears. And to no fault of your own, your parents are packing your belongings. And maybe those belongings are in a suitcase, and maybe those belongings are being packed so quickly that they're in a bag. And then that face that knocked on the door and talked to your family, you're going with them. And during that time, your drive may be short and it may be long, but to you it feels like forever. And to no fault of your own, you're just going. Now when you get to your destination, you're welcomed to a face that you have no idea who they are. But what you do know is that they're kind to you, that they're showing you a room that you'll be staying in, that they're trying to ask your favorite foods or what you like because they want to fill your home with those things. And you're being told you're going to stay there for a period of time. In that time, you don't know how long you'll be there. And during those days that go by, you're not sure how long you'll be there, and you want to go home. But that unfamiliar face becomes a familiar face to you. And eventually, maybe that family becomes your family. Those people who welcome your homes are our foster families. And those foster families are amazing people. And those people love these children who are strangers to them when we knock on their door unconditionally. We desperately need these foster homes for our children because what these children lose is their home. If they are not in their school district, they lose their school. And maybe they lose their favorite teacher or their friends. And sometimes their community because they have to leave Center County. Our mission for Center County is to keep every single one of our children here in the county. As I stand here today, we have no foster families available for children older than the age of 5. We are currently looking for a 5-year-old for a home, a permanent home, a long-term home for this child. And we as an agency are devoted to our children here in Center County. Whenever you are thinking of that home that this child went to, I want you to look back and think, who did you think of? Did you think of a family friend? Did you think of a relative or a neighbor that this child went to? Or did you think of yourself? See, the misconception of being a foster parent is that you need this large home, or, you can't work because you need to take care of these children, and that's not accurate. We as an agency do our in-house training, and we help you get child care and all of those pieces. The only thing you need to be a foster parent is a big heart. And if you have that heart, then that's all you need. And we teach you, and you learn every single day on how to love this child who was once a stranger. I'm going to let Jackie and Dustin speak on their experience, but I can tell you that everyone's experience is very different. Every child is very different who enters our care, but I know one thing they need, and that's a safe home and love. And I know that here in Center County we have wonderful community members that can do that for our children. Thank you.
Thanks, Caitlin. So I don't know who's coming up first, or if you're doing it at the same time for Jackie and Dustin, but welcome to the podium. All right.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here and speak on behalf of Center County foster parents. My name is Dustin Newman, and this is my wife, Jackie. And we started our foster parent journey in 2019, and what a journey it's been. Since completing our training, we have fostered for short and long periods of time. We have welcomed sibling groups, infants, toddlers, school-aged children, tweens, teens, all of those into our home. We've successfully helped reunite children with their biological families, supported children in finding adoptive homes, and adopted a wonderful child ourselves. It's been a busy few years, but we've grown as a couple and as individuals through this process. And being foster parents has opened our eyes and our hearts more than we ever could have imagined. If you ask 20 foster families why they chose to foster, you'd probably get 20 different answers. For us, though, we simply had the time, the space, and the love to give. We felt strongly that we had a civic responsibility to help the next generation. If people like us don't step up, who will? But early in our relationship, we decided being foster parents was something we wanted to do when the time was right. So in the midst of me finishing my last year of nursing school, renovating our home, and having just rescued a third dog, we decided, why not take the foster parent classes to see what this was all about? Maybe we'll do this in the future, we said. Well, in those classes we learned the basics of the foster care system, we learned the legal requirements of us, we learned the requirements of our home, we learned to understand trauma, and strategies for caring children who have been through trauma. We came home from the class each week with a greater understanding of the integral role that foster parents play, not only in the children's lives, but in the children and youth system as a whole. We also learned how few foster parents there are in Center County and how many children need a good foster home. We realized that these kids did not have the luxury of waiting for the time to be right. They needed a stable, loving home, and they needed it now. We decided to fast track our home renovations, so by me, buy a few twin beds and cribs, and open up our family to whatever may come. The time will never feel exactly right, nor will you feel completely prepared to wade into the unknowns brought on by inviting children into your home. But I can promise you, from our firsthand experience, those insecurities pale in comparison to the difference you will make in the lives of the children you foster.
We would be doing a disservice if we did not speak about the realities of foster care. There will be challenging times. There will be moments of sadness. There will be times that you question all of your decisions. After our first year of having short-term placements, we received a call that changed our lives. We were asked to provide foster care to an infant that was not expected to survive their abuse. This tiny infant had experienced more pain and suffering than either of us could have ever imagined, and his outlook was bleak. We looked inside ourselves and had to ask, can we really do this? Can we handle the emotional turmoil of the unknown? We checked in with each other and said yes to the placement. That was a turning point for us as foster parents because we both realized our fear of the unknown needed to be put second to the immediate need that this baby had for love and care. We jumped in headfirst and jetted off to the hospital. I won't lie. It is extremely hard to see a baby that has endured such abuse. It is incredibly natural to feel anger and heartbreak. But the moment we stepped into that hospital room, we brought only positivity and love to that child because our feelings had to be put second. We quickly grew to love this child and started taking an active, and by active I mean aggressive, role in his care. We're learning how to manage a feeding tube, medications, and many, many seizures a day. It was not long after we had started fostering this baby that he actually started improving. The doctors had previously feared he would not survive his injuries, but with each passing day, our little miracle began to respond to treatments. Fast forward a month later, and we were able to bring him home. We were ecstatic. We were now faced with a new challenge. Fostering a special needs baby that no one knew what deficits he could be left with or what his future had in store. We worked together to get him to every doctor's appointment and the best therapies possible. We worked together as a team to help rehabilitate him and give him the best shot we could. Today we are still tackling every challenge head on, but now we have a healthy and thriving toddler. He runs everywhere he goes, only wants to play with his trucks, and his doctors still call him a miracle. If you ever wanted to hear our why foster in a nutshell, he is it. He needed our love in order to heal. His story may sound extreme, but it is not unique. There are many children right in our own backyard of Center County that need the same level of love and support that our baby did. These children of all ages that need adults to advocate and support them. They need adults who are willing to put aside their fear of the unknown, their ego, their preconceived notions, and open up their hearts and home. These children want to belong to a family. They want someone to care about their grades and play games with them. They want parents who will help guide them through life with compassion and understanding. Even after having firsthand experience of the hard work it takes, we have continued fostering and have brought other children of various ages into our home. It has brought about its own challenges, but we can tell you from our experience that the challenges are worth it when you see the difference you make in their lives and the joy they will bring into yours. Lastly, I will say you do not need to be Superman to foster. We live in a modest 3-bedroom home. The kids share rooms, and honestly, we don't buy them every toy under the planet. All these kids want is your attention. They want your love, and they want someone in their life that cares how they're doing on a daily basis. Being a foster parent has changed our life, and we would not have it any other way. Thank you.
I should have brought my Kleenex. I'll just say very quickly as I try to pull it back together, I'm in awe of the two of you and very much appreciate everything you've done for the children of Center County. I'm going to have to pass it over to Commissioner Concepcion.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the story of this baby is it's hard to imagine. You know, anyone when you had babies of your own and you think how you would do anything to protect them from any kind of injury or getting hurt, but thank you for, opening your home and your hearts to that baby and the other children that you have taken in. It's just amazing to hear the story, of recovery and what your love was able to do. Yeah, my parents had foster children, and they still talk about those kids by name frequently. They think of them all the time. They love those kids, so much. And so, even though they were fortunately able to go back to their own families eventually or to relatives, they continued to be, part of my parents' family, So thank you for everything you do. And to our staff that are working through these situations, I know this is like incredibly challenging emotional work that you're doing and the support that you're providing to the families that are willing to and able to open up their homes. Your support is so critical to this too. So thank you.
Well, words barely scratched the surface after that. That was some of the most moving testimony that could be offered. And if there were ever advocates for the foster care program, you have that elixir covered. That's just amazing. I don't even have words for how you must feel, and how it brings out the emotions in all of us. And to the folks, Kaylin, Leah, and everybody, Tara, everybody's out there, just please know that your efforts are appreciated. I don't think it's just a reminder this moment of how important you are, but literally all year round. That whether it's Christmas or birthdays, you're making such a difference in lives. And that's truly, if you want to talk about service, that is truly it. And just for a moment, if I know, Leah, you're probably as tuned into this, but the faith-based community in our county has such an amazing part in participation and making the foster care program and adoption programs work in Center County. If you could just speak to that for just a moment, I'd really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, so I think Jackie and Dustin and all of our foster parents would not be able to foster without the supports that we have. So, in addition to our staff and our provider agencies, but also we receive a lot of support from Keystone Family Alliance. And so they play a very active role in recruiting for us, but also supporting our foster parents between support groups and offering care communities and everything that is available to them, to our foster families, and trying to, Jackie and Dustin had spoke about the fact that every story is unique and every foster care experience is unique, and that is true. But being able to be connected to our mentor program, which are our experienced foster parents, being connected to them to be able to help you get through the journey and be able to bounce ideas and suggestions, because even though the experience may be different, having someone that has been in your shoes or has had a similar experience helps to get you through that support. And so being able to have a network, and we say kind of come prepared with your team, have your team wrapped around you, whatever that may look like, whether it's parents, friends, loved ones, or Keystone Family Alliance or other supports in the area. You need to have that in order to succeed at this journey. But we are extremely fortunate to have the supports that we do from Keystone Family Alliance and our provider agencies, because without that, we would not have the foster care program that we do. We need to grow that program, but we certainly would not be able to sustain it as is, for sure.
And I just want to say the Keystone Family Alliance started off as the Orphan Care Alliance here in Center County with Vince Smith and Hillary Harris and a bunch of really amazing folks, and it's literally grown like a spider throughout the state. And I understand they just started operating in York County this last week, and I think it's an example of how the public and private worlds can make really amazing things happen. And I just want to say again, thank you to your staff to allow all these good things to occur. We do have a lot of roads to cover yet, and we don't have every family and every child in the situation that they need to be, but we've made incredible strides. And I think the network that's been created to support, because I think the testimony is you can't do this alone. The things that you're doing are incredible in and of themselves, but to have those supports in place, maybe it's just respite, and maybe it's just somebody bringing you a meal, or maybe it's just the financial support that is required when you are raising multiple children. It's just amazing what we have here in Center County, and we're blessed. And thank you all for what you do and making that all happen. So appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks again, Leah and Kaylin, especially Jackie and Dustin. Obviously, foster parents change lives. Your story is maybe a tiny bit more dramatic than most, but you do change lives. And if I did write things down correctly, Leah, I believe at this point we are in desperate need of foster families willing to foster children older than 5. And all 3 commissioners are parents. We understand how critical having a foster parent can be for these children. And again, if I'm doing the math right, I think we have at least 17 young people who could potentially go into a foster home tomorrow.
Yes, within Center County.
If
Yes.
somebody wanted to be a foster parent or be part of that network
Yeah,
of support, who would
absolutely.
they contact
Well, it's
and how would
quite
they get
simple,
involved?
actually. So we have on the Center County website, and Julie Heverly is here. She's our one of our foster home recruiters, and I'm going to have you tell me the website because I know I mess it up every single time.
Yes, so it's fostercentercounty.com. That will take you right to our website. You can fill out an inquiry right there. There's loads of information on there. And then that's how you'll reach myself or Hope Tressler, the other foster home recruiter, and then we'd be happy to speak with you and start the process, whatever that looks like for you.
And we'll walk you right through the process on all the documents that you need to have, all of the training needs that are required, everything that is part of the process. We'll walk you through it step by step to help you feel comfortable becoming a foster parent and get you licensed as a foster parent, and then walk you through what would work for your family and what you would need to be successful in fostering.
Where is Hope, by the way? We miss her.
She has another appointment.
All right, tell her we asked about her.
Busy recruiting.
All right.
So that's Foster Center, CENTRE, county.com. Or you can call the Center County Children and Youth Office, and I'm sure they will transfer you very quickly to someone happy to take the call.
Absolutely. That number is 814-355-6755.
355-6755. Lots of fives.
Fives.
So is Keystone Family Alliance, where someone who's interested in learning more about this process or perhaps volunteering to be part of that support network, they could get in touch with Hillary at the Keystone Family Alliance, correct?
Yes, and they on their website also they have several links to how you can become a part of a care team for a foster or adoptive parent, and then what is required for that as well. And then in addition, they also have their information regarding their support groups that they have for foster and adoptive parents.
Great, thank you.
Thanks. Unless there's anything else from the commissioners, we should probably take a motion.
I will move to adopt Proclamation 19 of 2023, proclaiming May 2023 as Foster Care Awareness Month in Center County. Yeah.
Gratefully second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of proclaiming May as Foster Care Awareness Month in Center County, do so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? There's not any opposition. So why don't everybody come on up, and we'll take a picture and get it up on social media.
Great job. Thank you. Making us proud. Very well done.
You're welcome to be part of it.
Well done. It's your baby. I saw those tears back there, by the way. It brings it all out. And the rest of us.
I get so emotional.
Yes.
We didn't even get into our teenage excitement.
We might have to get a little, can you get us all in there? I will be.
Yeah, bring it with you.
Pencil me in.
Thank you so
Put it
much.
up on the wall or
Yep.
whatever foster family you'd like to
Absolutely
give
amazing.
it to.
Keep up the good work.
Yes.
I think I might have to, Kaylin was an incredibly moving,
Yes, she
motivating
was.
speaker.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, that was something. Whew. Next year I'll bring Kleenex.
They do have a banquet coming up the end of the month.
Yes, they do.
You see the whole team in action. So.
Yes. Yeah, all the different foster families. It's wonderful. All right, so moving on to bids and proposals. Our controller, Jason Moser, I think is waiting out in the hallway. Kind of apologize a little bit that you're having to follow something.
Powerful
that moving.
proclamation and stories to follow
Yeah.
there for certain, with enterprise resource planning software and implementation services. So, but that's what I'm here for today, to seek approval for the contract with Univeris to provide our integrated enterprise resource planning software system for the county to replace our current system, Finance Plus. The contract total is broken down there, but just the implementation services themselves are $974,460, which is actually under the budgeted amount for 2023. The $60,400 is our optional cost for anything that may come up during the implementation that maybe we didn't plan for or weren't aware of, kind of ancillary costs in there. And then the $228,324 is the annual subscription fees for the service itself. So the total on the agenda today is $1,263,184, and it's just important to point out that not all of those costs will be incurred in 2023. They will be spread out into 2024 as well, because this implementation we anticipate to be completed by middle of next year. It will take about that long. And just wanted to thank all the departments, department heads, elected officials, and staff that attended all of the demos, the questions that we sent out to them, provided their input on services they would like to see within this software. It was an extensive process that we started with demos in December. So as I like to say, we are now at the end of the beginning. So the real work starts now as far as the implementation, but we're looking forward to providing some better access to data for not only county employees, but also the public, and come out of that with some better software that also manages our grants and our audit services as well.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, this is the critical software that manages the entire financial side of the county. So a lot of work between the Commissioner's Office, Budget and Finance, the Controller's Office. Thanks, especially since we didn't have a Budget and Finance department for a while. Thanks for leading this project for pretty much its entire time frame, and also the Treasurer's Office. So from a Commissioner's viewpoint, very, very important software, and we're glad that we're not only at the end of the beginning, but that we've done so a little bit under budget. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, thanks for this. I think, we've been following this process along for a while, in terms of choosing a vendor and getting to this point where we're ready to move forward. Seems like it'll be very helpful in terms of making sure all the pieces of the house are talking to each other and on the same page. So, sounds good. Thank you.
Well, thank you for all the hard work. I know we've put a lot of effort into this, and I want to recognize John Fronick, who has been very essential in as Commissioner Higgins noted, we were short-staffed in our finance department. And John, thank you for carrying the ball for our department, not only through that, but through the budget process and making sure that we kept our T's crossed and I's dotted while we got through that. We want to say thank you. But also to this will kind of bring us into the next level of organization, and we'll have the dashboards and everything we need to make sure that at a moment's glance we'll know where we are financially throughout the year. And I think it'll be a big improvement in the way we do business.
Absolutely, and just to add to that, John did attend quite a number of the demos and other meetings and stuff, and frankly, I don't know where he found the time to do that, but he was on quite a few of those, so certainly appreciated his input during that process as the search was on for the Director of Budget and Finance as well, so thank you for mentioning that, Steve.
As with most things at the county, it's truly a team effort. It's really great how people step up across the board when there's an opening. People just kind of circle around and things get done. So the credit needs to go out to the county team.
And Natalie as well.
Oh yeah, and Natalie.
He's definitely his surrogate some of the times in a lot of those meetings and demos too.
Great. Well, thanks everyone, and I'm glad to see the county team has gotten to the end of the beginning for this very important software project. I think we're ready for a motion then.
I'll move to approve the contract with Univeris, Inc.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the contract with Univeris, Inc., do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great.
Thank you
very
so much.
Jason.
Thank you.
All right, now Lee will come up to talk about refreshing the Willowbank parking lot.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. Today we are asking for approval to advertise the invitation for bid for the Willowbank parking lot top coating and the line striping at the completion of the project. Through the process, we will be discussing timing of the project. We know we have some parking constraints and things of that nature, so we will, we'll have discuss on quarry opening times and things of that nature with the vendors. It's going to be a challenge, but we'll have that talks, and whether that has to happen after hours, weekends, or whatnot. So we'll definitely line all that up. So.
Have the contractors indicated how long this may take, this whole process?
They have not at this point. No, I've had some conversations, but no, we haven't had any timing, hard timing put to that yet.
Thanks for getting to this, Lee, while it's still a milling and top coat situation instead of a complete reconstruction. Always more affordable and easier on the organization if we can do something like this more cost effectively and faster. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
I mean, this is clearly a critical need at this point. You can see the condition of the parking lot for anyone who's here. Yeah, I guess I just have, a little bit of concern about how we're going to get through parking folks at the Willowbank building during the process, but it sounds like they all have a plan for.
Yeah, like I said, we'll be speaking of timing and whether that has to happen after hours and whatnot, and, all of those will be taken into account, so, yep.
Maybe use some long weekends if we can.
Absolutely, yes.
I think we're ready for a motion then.
I'll move to approve advertisement of the invitation for bids, Willowbank parking lot milling, top coating, and parking stall striping project.
We have a motion and a second to approve the advertising of the information for bids on the Willowbank parking lot, milling, top coating, and striping. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, thank you.
And then if Glenn's out in the hallway there, we have a contract addendum forward to Commissioner Dersham's point, another nice add-on for our returning citizens to help integrate them back into society a little faster.
Yes, good morning. We're presenting for your consideration and approval a contract extension with Viapath. They currently provide our telephone and tablet system at the correctional facility. We are currently under contract with them through September 20th, 2025. In meetings that I've had with the Viapath representatives, we're looking to add to our current tablets where every inmate in the facility, with the exception of those on disciplinary status, which there aren't very many, will have their own tablet. Right now our tablet ratio is about 1 tablet for every 6 to 8 inmates, so it's a sharing process. Conversations with Viapath, we can add 1 tablet for every inmate, extend the contract for 3 years. It is no additional fees, no rates will raise for the inmate usage. They'll have more opportunities to do basically Zoom visits, which we do now, but again, you're sharing with everybody. There's a big educational component to this called CipherWorks that has over 100 different courses that individuals can participate in. Some they actually get a completion certificate if they complete all the basic classroom work on the program. It would extend the contract for 3 years. Again, no additional cost no cost for the county at all. Another portion of this would, currently we have digital mail through text behind. That contract has ended, but they haven't requested us to renew it yet. They are now partnered with Viapath. So instead of us getting hand-printed mail that goes to text behind now, it'll all come electronically. When we initiated the tablets back in 2019-2020 range, our mail volume drastically dropped because technology today, it's easier to send somebody a message electronically than it is to handwrite the letter. So all of that mail would then go into the tablets. The individuals can pull it up and read it as often as they want. Sort of like looking at your cell phone. If someone sends you a picture, if you want to go back and look at that picture 5 or 6 times, you'll have that ability to, rather than have a hard copy that may get lost or something in your cell. Or we think it's a great addition to our services and programs that we offer at the correctional facility, and we're just asking for your consideration and final approval. The mail piece does not include legal mail. We still do legal mail the old-fashioned snail mail way, so.
Thanks, Glenn. I do want to explain to the citizens at home that the system is locked down.
Yes.
You can't just freely go about the internet. And we are perusing the emails to ensure that there is no communication with citizens with orders of protection, et cetera.
Correct.
But no additional cost to the county, substantial additional benefit to the returning citizens, including more easily set up Zoom calls with family, an entire education component that they can now access whenever it's convenient for them, instead of saying, okay, person number 3 has the tablet, I'm person number 7,
Yes.
I've got to wait a little while, and faster mail delivery. So
Yes.
it looks like it's a great contract in every different direction. Commissioner Concepcion.
It seems like that ability to stay in better contact with families is probably a really great component of this, that they'll be able to more easily have those Zoom calls or get mail turnaround probably
Quicker.
would be faster than it would otherwise be, right? So, yeah, it's great that there's no cost to this and that you're able to provide that security function to ensure that they're being used appropriately. So,
Commissioner Dish?
No, I think it's all been said. It's all good.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's
Okay.
take a motion then.
I'll move to add the contract addendum 2 with Global Tellink Corporation, DBA Viapath Technologies to next week's consent agenda.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the contract addendum number 2 with the Global Tellink Corporation do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. All right, we'll move over to Human Services with Kathy. You have quite a list of contracts here.
That's okay, we can consolidate them.
All right.
As you said, several agenda items today. The first is that we ask the board to consider approving a grant application to the Office of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services for the Projects for Assistance in Transition from Homelessness program. The PATH grant is actually a program that is funded through the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. And SAMHSA provides funding to the state, and the purpose of PATH formula grants is to provide resources to help reduce homelessness for individuals with serious mental illness, co-occurring substance use disorders, and those who are experiencing homelessness or at imminent risk of becoming homeless. So in the state of Pennsylvania, PATH services are provided in 36 counties through contracts with 24 separate counties or joinders. And this is the first time in, I think, 13 years that SAMHSA has added additional funding to the allocation that Pennsylvania receives, that they can now open the opportunity to one additional county or joinder. So this application has come out, and Center County is one of the remaining counties that now has an opportunity to apply and potentially be added to the number of counties or joinders that receive PATH fundings to have funds to support and serve individuals who meet this criteria. And we're fortunate in that when they define homelessness or at imminent risk of becoming homeless, it's a much broader definition than the HUD definitions that you often hear Faith talk about in the various homeless grants that they receive. Faith's grants tend to be very narrow in their definition. Under the PATH grant, we are going to be allowed to serve individuals under a much broader definition. When we look at individuals who are facing imminent risk of becoming homeless, we'll be allowed to look at individuals who are doubled up, who are living with someone but are not on the lease. We'll also be allowed to look at individuals who are in arrears and don't have a plan or a solution to changing that situation. So the definition will be much broader. However, those individuals will need to have a diagnosis of serious mental illness or a co-occurring substance use disorder. So seeing as this grant will be coming through our mental health department, it makes sense that they have those diagnoses. So we'll be looking at using one of our staff who currently provides blended case management. The referrals have not bounded back quite as significantly as we had hoped following the pandemic. So we'll be using one of our blended case managers to move over and provide services under the PATH grant. Will be the grant total is $63,881. We'll be supplementing that with some human services block grant dollars to fill out and cover the costs of the case management position. At this point, the grant period will be July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. But the way this is set up, assuming that SAMHSA continues to fund the state of Pennsylvania, this will be an ongoing allocation if we are awarded the grant. So unlike other grants, it appears that this will be an ongoing allocation if we are approved and funded for this grant award, which is always nice to see. You don't see that very often with grant allocations. So that would be the first item that we have for the board today.
I think we have it set up that we'll take a motion on the first item.
Yes, please, we would like that. If the commissioners would agree to approve this item, we would ask for same-day approval because the grant is due next Monday.
Well, another great example, Kathy, of Center County government stretching resources, utilizing grants to help fund services. At least it sounds like in the short term, we're going to be hopefully able to add these additional services to persons who are homeless or about to become homeless without having to add any additional staff inside of county government. So it's a great, great story. Commissioner Concepcion, any?
Yeah, no, I appreciate your being proactive on this, and let us know when you hear. Yeah. Do you know what is the timetable for finding out?
I believe they would want us to start July 1, so
Okay, so
hopefully
they-
a very quick turnaround.
I'll move to approve the grant application for the Office of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services for the Projects for Assistance in Transition from Homelessness PATH program.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the grant application for the Office of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services today, do so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. All right, and then Kathy, you got a big list.
Okay. Items 2 through 9 are letters of agreement for our student assistance program. And all 8 of these items are identical. They are letters of agreement with each of our school districts and 3 of our charter schools to provide drug and alcohol and mental health services to the individual schools and its students through their student assistance programs. Now, we've been working and supporting student assistance in the various schools for many years. Shall I say decades. And the goal of student assistance is to identify and train professionals within the schools to identify students who are struggling, whether it be a drug and alcohol issue, a mental health issue, an academic issue, and to identify those challenges early enough that they can be addressed and to avoid problems with their educational progress. And so if an issue is identified, the in-school team will identify those issues, make a recommendation, and to conduct an early screening so that we can pin down where those issues might be and to make a referral, whether that be for in-school services, whether that be for a referral to a mental health provider, to a drug and alcohol provider for further assessment, and to get those kiddos connected to services so that we can address whatever the concerns might be so that they continue to do better or well in school. So the letters of agreement are with the Phillipsburg Osceola School District, with the Penns Valley Area School District, with the State College Area School District, Bellefonte Area School District, Bald Eagle Area School District, the Young Scholars of Central Pennsylvania Charter School, Center Learning Community, CLC Charter School, and with the Sugar Valley Rural Charter School. We have contracts with the Youth Service Bureau to do the liaison services and provide those screenings to each of the districts, and to attend their team meetings to provide support to the staff that are gathering that information and making those recommendations. There is a correction to the agenda. Aaron and I missed that when we were putting this together. It actually covers the current school year, and so the letters of agreement will start and be effective as of September 1 of 2022 through June 30th of 2025. We've been providing those supports this entire school year, and we'll cover that through the next 2 school years. This is a living and breathing document in the sense that we won't just sign these and put them on the shelf. We will do check-ins regularly with their administrations to determine if there are additional supports and services that are needed by the school districts. We do regular meetings with the representatives from the teams to see if there are additional supports that they need. We do a conference every year that their staff attend to provide additional education and supports. And the liaisons certainly let us know if there are additional supports. We don't always have the magical keys to the solutions, but we're certainly willing to help them out wherever we can.
Okay. So I will make a motion to add the MHID, EI, DNA items 2 through 9 to next week's consent agenda with the amendment that this is for the period of September 2022 through June 30th, 2025.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adding the MHID, EI, drug and alcohol items to next week's consent agenda with the change to indicate it's September 1st of 2022. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.
All right, Dave's up next with an item for transportation.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. What a day to be here.
Yeah.
I learned a lot in the time that we've been here today, and certainly encourages me to try to help recruit people. I come and ask for consideration of approval of a shared ride rate increase for fiscal year 23-24. It's calculated to be an average fare with the increase, if it will be approved, at $23.15. And there is a table of our current rates based on distance of miles, comparing the current rate and what the new rate would be. And this would generate about an additional $150,000 in revenue for our shared ride service through all the various agencies that we deal with. It's an extensive list. We have some local agencies that pay transportation for various services. Of course, our major ones are PennDOT and the Department of Welfare for the services we provide. PennDOT has already given their blessing to our rate increase request. That's always one of the biggest hurdles. Once they approve it, then it makes it easier. But you know, it's nice to get to the point that we're getting to. We're at about 97% trips from pre-pandemic, which is great. So I'm hoping to turn that corner here soon and get above that and continue to increase. What we do is a vital service, obviously, for the residents of Center County. And, you know, the 70-plus mile rate you see is that trip to Danville and occasional Hershey. And these people need to get there, and they have no way. So we're doing it. Center County government, at your initiative, is providing these trips as needed. And the people are very happy. Thank you. But I come for you today asking for consideration of this approval to allow us to continue the services we provide.
Thanks, Dave. I do want to stress to the press and those at home that these are the rates that we bill to PennDOT and the Department of Welfare.
Yes.
Citizens pay, I think, anywhere from nothing to a few dollars, depending on which category they fit in.
15% is the copay, but our citizens in Center County, the only people that pay anything to ride the vans in Center County are the PWD, persons with disabilities, and their rate's right around $4 per trip. That will increase probably in the fall based on the CATA ADA rate, maybe by 25 cents, but it's still pretty affordable. AAA funds all lottery trips, so a senior citizen 60 and over does not pay anything to ride in Center County, nor does the medical assistance through the Department of Welfare. They're fully funded trips. So Center County's pretty unique in that respect, that we provide free transportation for a large amount of people. Yes.
Great, thanks for bringing that up, Dave. Commissioner Concepcion, any questions?
I think it probably is going to be necessary to raise the rates considering.
Yes, cost of operations, Commissioner, is what drives this, obviously. We did raise them in 2022, went into effect in July of 2022, but it's just been the increases of cost of services and fuel, the driving forces have forced us to do this, and it will help us bridge our gap of a little bit of a deficit in the department and get that more to where we want it to be. Yes.
Makes sense.
Commissioner Dershowitz? All right. Can we have a motion then?
I'll move to add the shared ride rate increase for fiscal year 23-24 to next week's consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adding the shared ride rate increase for fiscal year 23-24 to next week's consent agenda, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you very much.
All right. We have liquid fuels fee for local use. I'll kick that over to John.
Thank you. Spring Township is seeking to make repairs to a large drainage pipe head wall located along the 100 block of Wiltshire Drive in the Brockerhoff development. The head wall was originally constructed out of treated railroad ties, which have since then deteriorated, and they are looking to replace those with interlocking concrete blocks and backfilling with stone. They are seeking $2,000, which would cover just the material costs, and their Public Works Department would be providing the labor. So before you for consideration is the approval of a fee for local use application for Spring Township in the amount of $2,000 for the Brockerhoff Development Pipe Head Wall Improvement Project.
All right. So this is part of the $5 fee that is distributed for transportation projects in the county, dollar for dollar. The county retains no administrative overhead on this. Every penny goes toward local projects like this one in Spring Township. Any questions, Commissioner Concepcion? Commissioner Dershowitz? All right. Take a motion then.
I'll move to approve the fee for local use application for Spring Township.
We have a motion and a second to approve the fee for local use application for Spring Township. All those in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, we'll move to our consent agenda. Don't think there were any changes to this, right?
I will move to approve this week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have one appointment for our authorities, boards, and commissions. Charles Williams has agreed to serve on our local emergency planning committee. Unless there's any questions, can we have a motion for that?
I will move to approve the ABC appointment of Charles Williams to the local emergency planning committee.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And then we'll move over to Commissioner Concepcion for the check run.
So the item that I would like to recognize in the check run today is a check from the county to Strawberry Fields. Strawberry Fields is a longstanding organization in our community that provides services and supports to individuals with intellectual disabilities. They do some pretty amazing work, including running the Good Day Cafe, which provides opportunities for the folks who are affiliated with Strawberry Fields to gain meaningful employment work, and they've really formed quite a community there. So with that, I will move to approve the check run dated April 28th, 2023.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the check run of $562,936.52 dated April 28th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. John, do we have an administrator's report?
Nothing to report at this time.
All right, we'll move over to a voter registration report from Commissioner Dershowitz.
All right, this morning we have a total of 99,825 registered voters in Center County. That includes 42,069 Democrats, 131 Green Party, 603 Libertarian, 13,317 no affiliation, and 40,600 Republicans. And when you add the 3,105 all others, you get that total of 99,825. The feature party this week is the Independent Party. That's E-N-T, Independent, and they have 1,110 registered voters in Center County. So that is I think, our largest not major party, if you will, in Center County. Well, actually, the None Party might actually have more, but
All right.
they're close. They're close.
Is that N-U-N or N-O-N-E?
N-O-N-E. They have 1,158. So
All right.
actually, there's a handful of votes different, but it is certainly a force to be reckoned with the smaller party. Okay, and the featured precinct of the week is precinct number 9, which is Millheim Borough. And at the Millheim Borough, folks vote at the fire hall. And in the last election, there were a total of registered voters of 625. There were 416 ballots cast, which led to a voter turnout percentage-wise of 66.56%. And we want to thank the folks at the fire hall and the folks that make it all happen in precinct number 9. So that is my report for this morning.
Great facility there at the Millheim Fire Hall, and always a fun place to visit. For announcements, the Commissioner and Salary Board meetings for Thursday have been canceled due to a tour with DCED through Downtown State College to visit the small businesses there. And the Board of Commissioners meeting on Tuesday, May 16th, has been canceled due to the municipal primary election. We're all pretty busy that day. Do we have any executive sessions to report or hold, John?
No executive sessions to report, however, there is a need to hold an executive session to discuss a couple personnel matters.
All right. We'll take a very short break and then go into the executive session. And then public meeting schedule, we have a Board of Commissioners work session at 1 p.m. today. And then next week, Tuesday, we have the Board of Commissioners meeting at 10, followed by a work session at 11. And then the current Board of Elections will be holding a meeting at 1. And then on Thursday, May 11th, regular Board of Commissioners meeting at 10 and a nearly simultaneous Salary Board meeting. We'll open it up to questions from the press. This morning? All right. Looks like we can have a motion to go into executive session.
I will move that we enter executive session.
I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to enter into executive session. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are going to go into executive session. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming, everyone.